Have you ever been in a situation where someone asks you a simple question, like, "How was your day?" and suddenly it feels like your brain has just turned into a block of wood? You know the words are in there somewhere, but they are hiding behind a wall, and you're standing there in silence, trying to remember if you should use the past simple or the past continuous, while the other person is just waiting for you to say something. It is a completely normal feeling, but it is also one of the biggest reasons why people stop practicing their English, because it feels so frustrating to know you have the knowledge, but you cannot use it in the moment.
I see this happen all the time with our listeners, and it is exactly what we are going to fix today. The problem is not your vocabulary, and the problem is not your intelligence. The problem is that you are trying to build every single sentence from zero, like you are trying to build a car from scratch every time you want to go to the grocery store. You do not need to build the car. You just need the keys to a car that is already built. Today, we are introducing something we call the skeleton sentence framework. These are pre-built structures that allow you to stop thinking about the grammar and start focusing on the actual conversation. If you are tired of that mental freeze and you want to start talking about your life with real confidence, you are in the right place. So make sure you subscribe to Talk About It in English right now, because every week we take a real-life topic and give you the exact patterns you need to speak naturally without the stress.
That car analogy is perfect, Jack, because when we speak our native language, we are not thinking about the engine, we are just driving. For A2 and B1 learners, the goal is to get to that same place, where the structure is automatic. Think of these skeleton sentences as the frame of a house. The frame is already there, and all you have to do is change the furniture inside to make it your own. If you have these 3 skeletons in your mind, you can answer almost any question about your job, your weekend, or your plans without having to translate from your native language in your head.
Let's jump into the very first skeleton, because this one is a total lifesaver for small talk. One of the most common questions we hear is, "What did you do today?" or "How was your weekend?" Instead of trying to list every single activity you did, which can get very complicated very fast, we use the first skeleton sentence, which is, "I spent most of the time," followed by a verb with an ing ending. For example, "I spent most of the time working," or "I spent most of the time relaxing." Emma, why is this specific structure so much better than just saying "I worked"?
It is better for a few reasons. First, it sounds much more natural and fluid to a native speaker's ear. If I just say "I worked," it sounds a bit short and maybe even a bit grumpy. But if I say "I spent most of the time working," it gives a sense of the flow of my day. The second reason is the grammar benefit. When you use the phrase "I spent most of the time," you have already established the past tense with the word spent. After that, you just need to add a verb with ing. You don't have to worry about irregular past tense verbs for the rest of the sentence. You don't have to remember if the past tense of sleep is sleeped or slept. You just say, "I spent most of the time sleeping." It takes the pressure off your brain to find the correct past tense for every single action.
That is such a huge relief for a learner. Let's look at how versatile this is. If someone asks about your vacation, you can say, "I spent most of the time walking on the beach." If someone asks about your project at work, you can say, "I spent most of the time researching new ideas." It works for everything. Let's try some practice right now for everyone listening. I want you to listen to the phrase and then repeat it out loud exactly like I say it. Try to feel the rhythm of the sentence. "I spent most of the time working." Now you try it. "I spent most of the time working." Emma, give us another one for a relaxing day.
Here's a great one for a slow Sunday. "I spent most of the time catching up on my favorite shows." Listen again and repeat after me. "I spent most of the time catching up on my favorite shows." You notice how the words spent and most and time all flow together. We are not saying "I spent most of the time." We are saying "I spent most of the time." It becomes one single unit of sound. This is the power of a skeleton sentence. You are not thinking about 5 words, you are thinking about one single piece of language. Exactly, and you can even change the time period to make it more specific. You could say, "I spent most of the morning cleaning the kitchen," or "I spent most of the afternoon answering emails." The structure stays exactly the same. The skeleton is, I spent most of the, followed by the time period, and then your ing verb. Let's do a quick challenge for the listeners. I am going to give you a scenario, and I want you to try to use this skeleton sentence to answer. The scenario is, your boss asks you what you did yesterday. Think about your work. You might say, I spent most of the day attending meetings. Try that one out loud. I spent most of the day attending meetings. It sounds professional, it sounds organized, and you did not have to struggle with complex sentence building. One thing to watch out for with this first skeleton is a common mistake I hear where students try to say, I spent most of the time to work. In English, we never use to after the word spent when we are talking about time. It is always the ing form. It is like a golden rule for this skeleton. Spent time plus ing. If you remember that one rule, you will always sound correct. I spent most of the weekend studying. I spent most of the evening cooking. It is a very clean and simple pattern that gives you a lot of power. That is a great tip, Emma. Now, let's move on to the second skeleton sentence in our framework. This one is for when people ask you how something is going. Maybe they ask, how is your new job? Or how is your week going? Or how is your English practice coming along? A lot of learners just say, it is fine, or it is good. Those answers are okay, but they don't really help you build a conversation. The second skeleton is, it has been adjective, but adjective. For example, it has been busy, but good. I love this one because it makes you sound so much more balanced and interesting. Life is rarely just one thing. It is usually a mix of things. By using this skeleton, it has been busy but good, you are showing that you understand the nuances of the situation. It gives the other person more information to talk about. If you say, it has been busy, they might ask why you are busy. If you say, it has been good, they might ask what the best part was. It keeps the conversation alive while giving you a very easy pattern to follow. And the grammar here is actually very sophisticated but easy to use. It has been is the present perfect, which we use for things that started in the past and are still happening now. But you don't have to think about the present perfect rules. You just have to remember the sound, it has been. Let's practice some common pairs of adjectives that work perfectly with the skeleton. The first one is the classic for work. It has been busy but productive. Repeat that with me. It has been busy but productive. You are acknowledging that you have a lot of work, but you are also saying that you are getting things done. Another great one for when you are learning a new skill, like English, is it has been challenging but rewarding. This is a very common phrase in English. Challenging means it is difficult, but rewarding means it makes you feel good or successful. Let's try that one together. It has been challenging but rewarding. One more time for the rhythm. It has been challenging but rewarding. You can hear how the word but acts like a little bridge between the two feelings. What if things are not going perfectly, Emma? How can we use the skeleton if we are having a bit of a tough time, but we want to stay positive? That is a great question. You could say, it has been stressful but manageable. This means that you have some stress, but you are able to handle it. Or you could say, it has been slow but steady. This is perfect for when you are working on a long-term goal and you are making progress even if it is not fast. The skeleton stays the same. It has been adjective but adjective. This is so much better than just saying, I am okay. It shows a level of maturity in your English that really impresses native speakers. Let's do another round of shadowing for this one. I will say a few variations, and I want everyone at home or on the bus to say them out loud with me. Do not just think them in your head. You have to move your mouth muscles to build that muscle memory. It has been long but interesting. Again, it has been long but interesting. Now try this one. It has been quiet but nice. Again, it has been quiet but nice. You can hear how natural that is. You are not searching for grammar rules. You are just filling in the blanks of the skeleton. And remember, you can use this for things other than yourself. You can use it to describe the weather. It has been rainy but warm. You can use it to describe a book you are reading. It has been complex but fascinating. Once you learn the skeleton, the number of things you can talk about is almost endless. This is why we focus on patterns on this channel, rather than just lists of words. A word by itself is like a single brick, but a skeleton sentence is the whole wall. If you are finding these patterns helpful so far, do not forget to hit that like button. It really helps us know that these types of lessons are making a difference for your speaking.
Now we have covered how to talk about what you did and how things are going. But what about the future? People are always asking about your plans. What are you doing this weekend? Or what are your plans for the summer? This is where many students get stuck because they start worrying about the difference between will and going to and the present continuous for future arrangements. It can be a complete nightmare for your brain. So we are going to throw all of those rules away for a moment and use our third skeleton sentence, which is I am looking forward to, followed by a verb with an ing ending. For example, I am looking forward to meeting them, or I am looking forward to going on vacation.
This is my absolute favorite skeleton because it is so incredibly positive and it works in every single situation, from a casual chat with a friend to a formal business meeting. Instead of just stating a fact like, I will go to London, you are sharing an emotion. You are saying that you are excited about it. This makes people want to talk to you more because positivity is contagious. And the best part is that from a grammar perspective, it covers almost all of your future plans. If you have an intention or a plan, you can just use this skeleton.
There is one very important thing to remember with this skeleton, and it is the most common mistake that even advanced learners make. Many people want to say, I am looking forward to meet them. But in this specific phrase, the word to is a preposition, not part of an infinitive verb. That sounds like a lot of grammar talk, but all you need to remember is the simple rule. Always use the ing form after this phrase. I am looking forward to seeing. I am looking forward to visiting. I am looking forward to trying. If you can master that one sound, you will sound much more fluent than people who have been studying for years.
Let's practice that ing sound because it is the key to this skeleton. Listen and repeat. I am looking forward to traveling. Again, I am looking forward to traveling. Let's try one for a work context. I am looking forward to starting the new project. Again, I am looking forward to starting the new project. Do you hear how Jack and I are connecting the words looking and forward and to? It sounds like one long word. Looking forward to. Looking forward to. Let's try to say that small piece together. Looking forward to. Now add the ing verb. Looking forward to resting.
That is such a great way to practice, Emma. Just taking that one piece of the skeleton and saying it over and over until it feels easy. Let's look at some other ways to use this. You can use it for small things like, I am looking forward to having dinner, or big things like, I am looking forward to moving to a new city. It even works for things that are happening very soon. If you are finishing a conversation with someone, you can say, I am looking forward to our next meeting. It is a perfect way to end a conversation on a high note.
It really is. And think about how much mental energy you save. Instead of thinking, okay, this is a future plan that is already scheduled, so I should use the present continuous, but wait, maybe I should use going to because it is my intention. Instead of all that stress, you just think, I am excited about this, so I will use my looking forward to skeleton. It's like having a shortcut on your phone. You press one button and the whole sentence appears.
So let's recap our three skeletons so far. We have I spent most of the time ing for the past. We have it has been adjective but adjective for the present, and we have I am looking forward to ing for the future. With just these three structures, you can handle a huge part of any conversation. Let's imagine a real-life scenario, Emma. Imagine we are colleagues and we haven't seen each other in a few days. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I want you to use the skeletons to answer them. Ready?
I am ready. Let's do it.
Hey, Emma, how was your weekend?
It was good, thanks. I spent most of the time gardening and enjoying the sun. How about you? How is your week going so far?
It has been busy but productive. I have a lot of work, but I'm getting through it. Do you have any big plans for the rest of the week?
Well, I am really looking forward to finishing this project on Friday so I can relax. Did you hear that, everyone? Emma used all three skeletons in less than 30 seconds. She did not have to stop and think about grammar. She did not have to search for rare words. She used simple, clear structures to communicate her life perfectly. This is what we mean when we say talk about real life in natural English. You do not need 1,000 words. You need a few strong skeletons that you can use with total confidence. And the reason that felt so natural is because I have practiced these patterns so many times that I do not have to think about them anymore. They are just there waiting for me. This is what we want for you too. We want these phrases to stay in your mouth, not just in your head. When you study grammar in a book, it stays in your head. When you repeat these skeletons and use them in your daily life, they move to your mouth. And that is when real fluency happens. So here is the big question. How do you actually make these skeletons automatic? How do you make sure that the next time someone asks you a question, you actually use them? It comes down to a very simple daily habit that only takes 5 minutes. We call it the skeleton recap. Every evening before you go to bed or when you are finishing your workday, I want you to say 3 sentences out loud to yourself using these skeletons. One about your past, one about your present, and one about your future. That is a brilliant exercise, Jack. For example, you could say, I spent most of the afternoon answering emails. It has been a long day, but satisfying. I am looking forward to eating dinner. If you do that every day for just 1 week, you will notice a massive difference. Your brain will start to recognize these patterns, and it will start to offer them to you automatically during conversations with other people. You are training your brain to stop building cars from scratch and start using the car that is already in the garage. I also want to encourage everyone to not be afraid of being simple. Many students think that to be advanced, they need to use very long and complicated sentences with big words they found in a dictionary. But if you listen to native speakers, we use these skeleton sentences all the time. Being fluent is not about being complicated, it is about being clear and being fast. If you can answer a question without a long pause, you already sound more fluent than someone who uses a big word but takes 10 seconds to find it. That is such an important point. Simplicity is the key to confidence. When you know your skeleton is correct, you can relax. And when you relax, your pronunciation gets better, your intonation gets better, and you actually enjoy the conversation more. English stops being a test you are trying to pass, and it becomes a tool you are using to connect with other people. That is why we created this channel. We want to take away the fear of grammar and replace it with the joy of communication. We have covered a lot today, and I really hope you feel inspired to try these out. Remember, the goal is not perfection. The goal is to start talking. Even if you make a tiny mistake with the ing ending at first, do not worry about it. The most important thing is that you are using the structure and keeping the conversation moving. The more you use these skeletons, the more natural they will become. Let's do one final shadowing session to really lock these in before we go. We'll do each skeleton one more time. I will say the first half, and Jack will finish the sentence, and then you repeat the whole thing out loud. Ready? I spent most of the time relaxing at home. Now your turn. I spent most of the time relaxing at home. Good. Next one. It has been stressful but manageable. Your turn. It has been stressful but manageable. Excellent. And the last one. I am looking forward to meeting my friends. Your turn. I am looking forward to meeting my friends. You did a great job today. If you can remember these 3 patterns, you are already ahead of most English learners. Now your challenge for today is very simple. Look at the comment section below. I want you to choose one of these skeleton sentences and use it to tell us something about your life right now. Maybe tell us what you spent most of your time doing yesterday. Or tell us one thing you were looking forward to this weekend. Emma and I love reading your stories, and it is the best way to start practicing what you learned immediately. Don't just watch the video and move on. Take 30 seconds and write your sentence. It is the first step towards making this part of your real English. And if you found this framework helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We have so many more of these real-life topics and patterns coming your way. We are going to help you talk about your health, your money, your travel plans, and your professional life, one topic at a time. You do not have to study for hours to make progress. You just have to show up for these short sessions and get these patterns in your mouth.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You are doing the work, and it is going to pay off. Every time you use a skeleton sentence, you are building a stronger version of your English self. Keep practicing, keep talking, and remember that you already have everything you need to be understood. We believe in you, and we can't wait to see your sentences in the comments. That is right. Stop overthinking and start talking. You have the skeletons now, so go out there and use them. We will see you in the next lesson to build even more of the English you need for real life. Happy practicing, everyone.